What stops people from being good listeners?
The answer is their brain. That's what.
Yes.
Um, no, this is the brain is actually what does it. I think in a lot of ways, and my friend Andre Gollard, who I work with in Seattle, he's a neuroscientist, and he and I have been friends for a while. His book, Thinking Errors, was very helpful for me in sort of putting things together. Uh, the brain is sort of this older mechanism. And our world has gotten so far that we are still trying to deal with what our current world is with this older mechanism.
Hmm.
And so there's lots of things, I mean, because we can't evolve faster than we can evolve. We can
Right.
only evolve at the speed of the human being can evolve. So what keeps us from being good listeners is really our own brain gets in the way. Much like we talk about all the time, we listen for data points. We
Hmm.
draw through lines between data points. We create stories. We create narrative. And that story and narrative then becomes a preconceived notion or a bias, which then we measure
Hmm.
everything against. And so then we will then make up justifications and the ramifications for this story that may or may not be true because our data points weren't correct or we didn't have all the data points.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
it really is keeping curious and that involves also different ways that the brain works. I don't know how far we want to
Yeah.
go into brain science at
Right.
this moment, but but uh, it is that's what keeps us from being good listeners is kind of our own brain.
Yeah.
And the way we can trick ourselves into it is by giving our brain a task so that we are aware of the fact that we are listening. I tell people all the time through aerial programs of
Hmm.
even here when you're on a virtual call, make sure your feet are flat on the ground. Because if I focus on my feet flat on the ground, that actually is an external focus, which then makes me present and aware. I need something outside of myself as opposed to my brain going nuts and taking in data points and creating story.